Yo, it is that time. Hopefully you're watching this on Thursday. The Rocket Mortgage has just begun. Your lineups are kicking ass. Hopefully this win narrative pays off. Let's see here. What's going on today? This video, we're making it on Wednesday. So we're talking to future you, and you need to we want to show you how to build a player pool. This is me and JohnGaltJD. For all of you that don't know, we're making this video where we're going to take our player pool, we're going to condense it down, we're going to balance our exposures, we're going to weight ownership and make sure that we're having proper leverage on all of our plays, and we're going to use Sabersim to show you, if you're one of those people that likes to do MME, mass multi-enter, how to use it to save yourself tons of time and still make effective, well-balanced lineups. So that's what we're going to be doing today. You know, I'm usually the one that talks, but today I'm going to defer to my man JohnGaltJD because he knows way more about Sabersim than I do, and by way more, I mean literally infinity, because I don't know dick about it. So that's what we're going to be doing. You can see we have Fantasy National over here on one half of the screen. That's our initial player pool that we have. We're going to be cutting that down live on well, not live, but recorded on this video for you to watch. And then we're going to go use that cut down to make our lineups. So that's what we're doing. All right, let's do this thing. John, you there, brother?
I am.
All right, so here we go. I guess we need to start with condensing our player pool, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, last night we did an initial cut and just cut players that we didn't have a ton of interest in. Anyone that we had some interest in, we gave a star in Fantasy National, and we kept in our pool here in Saber. And now we're going to go and pair that back. So I think by now we've probably watched Wednesday night stream and heard about the significant weather edge. And I think we're going to buy in pretty hard to that in our lineups, right?
I love me a weather edge. Which, by the way, now that I just said that, do we have Mr. Did we star Patton Kazire by any chance? Yeah, let's go. Okay, I knew I was on him. Okay, I just want to make sure. So yeah, we're gonna do this weather edge. I mean, I look. It's showing that Thursday morning is definitely going to play way easier than Thursday afternoon. And that has not changed. And we're getting closer and closer and closer to that actual being, no longer being a projection, but being reality. And with that in mind, like if you can almost guarantee yourself that you're going to pick up a half a stroke or a full stroke across a full wave, even for one day, that's huge. And yes, they might give some of it back Friday when our guys are out in the afternoon, but I highly doubt they're going to give back near as much as they pick up on Thursday. Because of that, we're gonna be kind of using the wind, the weather edge, to really shape our player pool.
Definitely. And it's not like we're going to be playing guys we don't like. We're not filling our lineups with a bunch of just AM dudes that are slapdicks just for the sake of putting AM dudes in. We're still playing golfers we like. And it just happens quite a few of the golfers that we like are in the AM wave, and the weather works that way. And why not lean into it?
Yep. I mean, when we made this pool yesterday, we weren't even considering weather. We literally went through and just anybody that either one of us said, yes, we have a little bit of interest in, we starred. That's what we did. And then so we had no weather bias when we made this initial pool of 60 players. And now we're just going to cut it down using what we do know, which is a weather edge. So that's what we're doing. That's all we're doing right now. So let's get going.
Okay, cool. So Zalatoris, wrong side of the draw. I would forgive a high-priced player, but if we're going to play both Cantlay and Finau, we definitely don't need three 10K golfers.
Yeah, Zalatoris has got to go.
Get rid of Zalatoris.
He's got to go. You got to think of roster construction. Like, you just can't get enough balance whenever you're playing three 10K guys to get them all properly leveraged. So if we're playing Finau and we're playing Cantlay because they're on the good side of the wave and we think they're good fits in our model, well, then Zalatoris gets cut out by process.
Yep, I agree. Somehow I had already X'd Homa from our pool, but again, wrong side of the draw, some heavy ownership. I'm okay to miss out on Homa this week.
Oh, shit. Okay, the first half of what you said with Homa, you weren't there. So say that part again. We caught the end of it.
Oh, I said I had already X'd him out accidentally, even though we had him starred last night. But he's on the wrong side of the draw. He's got some heavy ownership. I'm okay to miss him. I'd rather play Cam Davis below him at half the ownership.
Exactly. I got him at like 25%. Homa, you gotta go. You gotta go, brother.
I guess the other thing that we should say, what we're starting with here, the two values, my projections are actually my projections. I start with establish the runs projections by Rufus Peabody, and then I do a few tweaks. And then the ownership is Degenerate's ownership that y'all have seen last night in the Discord. So
yeah, this is the rough draft, though, because we're making this during the afternoon. So it's not the finalized one that I'll put out tomorrow night. It is the one that I just did the video for Wednesday afternoon.
All right, cool.
Good enough. They're good
Okay,
enough.
so back to this. Cam Davis has the right side of the weather. He's coming in at significantly less ownership than Homa above him or Cam Young above him. I like Cam Davis, even though he is our defending champ. What do you think?
And he's overpriced, so I love him because that just it's going to keep ownership. He shouldn't be 9,700 in this field. He should be like 8,900.
Adam Scott's on the wrong side of the draw, but he's coming in low owned. But I guess so is Keegan right below him. I almost would rather play Keegan, even though we didn't star him last night. What is Keegan's tee time?
He's afternoon. I'm telling you, everybody up there is in the afternoon. Like everybody, it's crazy. So like if you're going in on this tee time, you really start to run out of players to play. So I'm open to maybe a Keegan. I will. I don't know if I were going to play one of those two, I'd rather have Scott, but I'm not sure I'm married to either one of them.
All right, we can take them both out for now, and if we end up needing a more expensive golfer roster construction-wise, we can add someone. I will say between the projections actually like Keegan the best, and he's the lowest owned.
Okay, well, let's do it, because fuck Adam
pretty
Scott.
hard to my projections. One, I think Rufus's are some of the best in the business, and two, I like the little bit of tweaks that I add to them. And so I tend to lean into him pretty hard. So if this were me just narrowing my pool, I probably would be killing Scott. I'd be killing Kisner, and I'd be playing Keegan.
I'm in. You sold me. Fuck Adam Scott. That guy's lost me plenty of money. Denny McCarthy? I think he's a definitive yes, right?
Huh?
Yep, me too. I like Denny
right
also.
Right side of the draw. Mav is the wrong side. Higher owned.
And I got him. Yep. Gotta go.
Sahith, I don't know. People keep talking about a wrist injury. He played last week. I don't think he's injured, but he's the wrong side of the draw, and I can deal without any drama on my lineup. So I could kill Sahith as well.
Agree. Gotta go, brother. You gotta go.
Davis Riley's also the wrong side of the draw, but if we're going to play someone, I could probably, 17%. I guess I couldn't be talked into him. I'm okay to see you later at Davis Riley.
I have him definitively as the chalk from once you get below Homa all the way to Hubbard. He is definitely the highest owned guy in that range, and it's not even close. Mav's the only one that even
look at the guys right here that we still have in our pool. Riley, Tringale, Hadwin, and Simpson. They're all half the ownership, give or take. All better projected according to my model / Rufus's model.
Oh man, these guys are about to hear a fight. Well, I'm going to save it for just a minute. Okay, so Webb is definitely a yes, but Tringale and Hadwin are both in the afternoon.
I could get rid of,
but they are coming. Okay, now this is where you're about to hear me and John Gold.
Tringale hurt me last week, and I'm not sure I'm ready to forgive him.
I got you. And Hadwin played like hot garbage last week. He did seem to figure out something Sunday, but like I'm okay with it. Okay, let's have our fight real quick, and then we'll discuss Hadwin because it'll probably determine. John Gold, when we were making our initial cut down last night, came at me pretty strong about no Russell Henley. But I've done some further research, and he reminds me so much of Tom Hoagie from last week, where he just looked like garbage coming in, and there's no reason to play him. And I remember thinking, Tom Hoagie's 7,100, and like long term, he's a better golfer than these guys. And a lot of the bad results Tom Hoagie had been having were at tough tournaments. And so I went and I used that same prism to look at Russell Henley, and he's been sucking balls recently. But then I realized that a lot of that has come at real tough tournaments. Now that he's back at a birdie fest and he's going to be low owned, and he's on the right side of the wave, which was the ultimate, just like, ooh, I'm interested. I got real interested in Russell Henley.
My numbers like him way better than Hadwin. I could trade him for Hadwin.
There we go. It's in. Let's go. Buy Hadwin. All right.
We're keeping Webb. Look, Hubbard, 15% Hubbard. That's gross.
I do want to point this out. When I made these, I've seen, a lot of people in the industry, I actually put him lower than almost everybody had him, and he's still disgustingly high. I agree. Some people had him at like 18, 19, 20%. And I'm using an aggregate model where I'm using a lot of these, and I just cannot see him getting that high. There's just too many good options down here. That's why this is a rough draft. I think he'll be more like 12%. If he was 12, would you be any more interested?
I would, and actually I'm checking two other sites right now. I want to see what they think about him. I'm pulling them up on my other computer. Yeah, both the other two sites that I actually like their ownership quite a bit, both have them at 11.5 and 11.7.
Okay, he was one of the ones that I was thinking I have to edit because like I put him way lower than I had to manually adjust him. So I think he'll be closer to 12.
I'm going to change him to 12.
And yeah, I like that.
But at 12, I almost like Woodland for a 75 or 75% of the ownership, or Siwoo for 75 or 90 or 67% of the ownership. I just
and they're all on the good side of the wave. Say it again.
He took a week off to rest. Supposedly that's all his WD last week was for.
Yeah, definitely. That's the rumor going around. He had already played 3 or 4 straight weeks, and then with he's going to get into the Northern Trust or whatever, the FedEx or whatever it is this year, and so I think he just realized he didn't want to play 8 straight weeks.
All right, I can. Let's leave him in on the initial run and see. See how he does. Siwoo is getting close to the area where I don't love to play Siwoo. Siwoo, I mean, we talked a little bit last night. I'll play him at low ownership. Not keen to play him at high ownership. 10%, 9% Siwoo is like kind of right at that line where I'm could go either way on Siwoo.
Yeah, I want to keep him just because I think those numbers may be a little high because when people get down there, Chris Kirk's going to get selected. Scott Stallings is going to get selected. Like, people are going to play those guys, and when they do, you can only play somebody that Troy Merritt is going to get picked. Tom Kim is going to get ownership, and at some point, somebody's got to kind of get left behind, and I feel like Siwoo might be closer to 7 or 8% as opposed to 10 when it all shakes out.
I would love that. 7%.
And here's my argument. I think Siwoo Kim is objectively a better golfer than almost every other player around him right there. I just think he has like amazing upside versus these other guys.
That's exactly it. He could easily finish dead worst in this field or easily win it. Like, he has winning upside, and he could easily snap a putter and finish the round with a 3-wood. Hard to tell.
Hard to tell with old Siwoo. So yeah, let's at least keep him in there.
Okay, Strelman, I'm okay to miss out. He's on the wrong side of the draw.
For sure. Scrolling down so we can keep looking at the draw here. Who else do we got?
Okay, so here's this bunch that we probably need to make some cuts in.
Well, Merritt's going to be easy because he's on the wrong side of the draw, and I never thought Merritt would be getting to 12, 13% ownership this week. That's an easy C buy.
Okay, cool.
Tom Kim, he was the only chalk donkey that relatively hit last week, so people played him last week. He did well. He's on the wrong side of the draw. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, also, I think last week was kind of a outlier event for him in that, like, he doesn't score that well on birdie fests, and I mean he ended up making some birdies last week, but I think generally I wouldn't be playing him on birdie tracks.
Right, I agree. The stats seem to bear that out too. Cam Champ is on the good side, and 7%. That's not so bad.
Give me some Cam Champ,
especially as much as we're thinning the herd right here. Got to keep somebody in this range, I would say. Burden Steele's on the wrong side. I do love the bounce back, but like I don't love him enough to play him on the shitty side of the wave.
Nope, I'm with you. Old man Kutcher, what size he got?
He is in the morning. And if you don't know, Matt Kuchar may be the greatest golfer alive. He may be the greatest golfer alive. Me and just let him make this cut. Let him make this cut. We're going to see where we're at after this round of cuts.
I would so much rather play Smalley. Okay, we'll keep him in for the first cut. So Smalley's on the wrong side.
You would rather play – all right, here we go. You'd rather play Smalley in the afternoon than Cooch in the morning.
Well, no. All things being equal, I'd rather play Smalley. Given the afternoon and morning thing, I probably would lean towards Cooch or honestly kill them both. But
okay, so here's a good question for you. Looking at your projections there, it looks like there's about a 1 point difference in those projections. How significant is that? Like a 62.6 versus a 63.4, so about 0.8. How significant is that for your projections?
Not at all. That's like probably some. I mean, no, that's not okay. Significant.
Okay, so essentially, that model is saying that they're almost relatively equal plays. One has the better draw, but then the one with the better draw has slightly higher ownership.
Yeah.
Okay, so honestly, they're almost equal as far as plays go. So
yeah, I mean, if you look here, like Jay Day actually looks like a better play than both of them. Higher projected and 3% or 3.5% ownership.
And he's in the morning wave. Oh, can we click Jay? I'll make you a deal. We can scrap Kuchar and Smalley if we can throw in some slapdick Jason Day.
Sold. I don't even like
Good thing we
JJ,
did our
but
process
that's just
yesterday.
too hard to
Yeah.
pass up that.
3.5% for a guy that I swear to God, he makes 6 birdies every round. He just also makes 7 bogeys every round. So if he could just make the cut, he'll get us some scoring. I promise you, the guy still knows how to get birdies.
There's no Disney World in Detroit. There's not shit to do. Cedar Point is at least 3.5 hours away. He should stay and play the whole tournament.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. All right, Taylor Pendrith, please tell me he's on the shitty side. Oh, he's in the morning. I just can't do it. Too many people in the industry have talked him up, and he's not that
That's
great
all
of a
I've heard
golfer.
about was Pendrith setting up well for this course, and he looks like 15%.
Yeah.
He might even steam up higher than that. I don't have any interest.
Yep. Yeah, no chance. Goddard, I mean, we already don't have him listed. He's just on the wrong side, and he got to double digits. I really loved Goddard because I would convince myself he'd be, under 10%, but he's not, so fuck him. Jonathan Vegas, he's in the morning.
Yeah, I can play some Vegas. If the bomber narrative holds true, that man can hit a drive. So and he can score on Birdie Fest. I mean, he's first round leader type guy. So I'm okay with Vegas.
Gotcha. Now we did just decide on Jason Day. We cannot do the same thing on Ricky Fowler. So we're gonna keep him shaded. Although he is in the morning, that's all I'll say.
He is in the morning and he's projecting pretty well. But anyways.
Okay, I notice your projections don't love Nick Hardy, whereas I fucking love Nick Hardy this week, and I think it's just because I've seen his upside, and I saw how much he spun his wheels last week, and that makes me like him a lot, probably more than I should.
I
to be
can play
honest.
him at 8%.
Yeah,
and I think he'll be lower than that
what's
after people saw him struggle.
Yeah, I agree. 7.7 or CT Pan is going off in the morning.
Let's do it.
All right. Harris English, man. I loved Harris English this week. I love English, but he's in the afternoon, and I don't love him that much.
All right.
Mackenzie Hughes is kind of shaping up like he's – what do you think? He looks great in your projections. He's low owned, and he's going off in the morning.
That sounds like check, check, check.
I know. I just – what am I doing with my life that I'm playing – I'm interested in playing like legit 25% Mackenzie Hughes. All right, I saw you just take Joel Dominoff.
Yeah, he's on the wrong side. We can talk about it, but he's on the wrong side, and I don't think he's a particularly strong win player.
He ain't worth our breath. He ain't worth it. Okay,
now, Wyndham Clark is probably going to my Fantasy Golf World Championship lineup.
Oh, shit. So, so you're making those, and I guess if you have him in there, that is enough conviction that we definitely got to play him.
Yeah, I mean, just right now I've got an early cut. Clark's in there. Hubbard's in there. Patrick Rogers, which we'll get to in a minute, in there.
You're a sadist.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and Wyndham Clark. I am Oklahoma State alumni, so go Pokes. You got to play him for that reason, right? You got to play guys from your alumni.
I like him a lot.
In the live final last year in my lineup, I played Gooch, another Cowboy. Go Pokes. Go Pokes.
There you go. So I'm gonna carry that good karma forward.
There's worse schools to play golfers from than OSU. They got some fucking studs. All right, where are we at?
Patty
We got. Where is Rogers? He's off in the morning. I'm in.
Yep.
9% scares me a little bit, but yeah, and that sucks because I thought Hank at 1%. I was like, give me all the Hank, but not on the wrong side.
We can still play 1% Hank. I mean, we can play 10% Hank and be okay with that.
I mean, I guess you could leave him because we got to see. I mean, we might end up cutting this thing down to 25 players and be like, oh shit, we got to go add some guys back.
Yeah.
Because, when you're making 300 lineups, we've already basically decided we want our player pool to be somewhere between 30 to 33 players.
Yep.
And not only 30 to 33 players, we have to have guys from different ranges so that the lineup generator can make, realistic lineups, right? You can't just go take 12 guys up high and, 18 guys down at the bottom because it'll never be able to get all those guys up top enough exposure. And you can't just take 2 guys up top and then a bunch of 6K guys because then it won't be able to spend all the salary. So these are things you got to consider when making your pool. You want to get guys from different ranges. All right. Where are we at? Callum
Tarrant, where's he got? Is he the right draw?
He's morning. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
go.
I kind of like the dude. I guess you could call 8.3% chalk at this range, but I'll eat that chalk. As long as it's not double digits, I'm okay.
Yeah, it probably is a little heavier ownership, but I think you can at least survive our first cut.
Yeah. Grayson Sig, 5% in the morning wave.
Let's go.
All right. Danny Willett. We have. I cannot believe we got Danny Willett starred. Where's he at? Danny Willett. He's in the morning also. You know, Danny Willett, there's this narrative around him that like, oh, he's just a grinder that plays tough courses well. I'm just letting you know, Danny Willett can score on easy courses. So like, I don't want that narrative to scare us off of him. And I can't believe how much your projections love him.
He can putt. I mean, I think, yeah.
And he's good around the greens. And as I told you yesterday, around the greens seem to matter here more than people are talking. Like, I mean, it was undeniable that everybody in the top 10 is picking up strokes around the green.
All right, let's let him survive the first cut. Patton, he's got to survive, right? When does he go off?
Oh man, dude, at 7:51 a.m. Get his ass out there early making birdies. He'll be 4 under through 6. You heard it here first.
Can I please take this opportunity to nix your Trey Mullinex suggestion?
He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. Fuck Trey Mullinex. I'm not married to anybody. I have no loyalty to anybody. Mr. Shank, where you at, Mr.
Wrong
Shank?
Side.
See you back. The Smother Man.
He's really well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's been looking great. Like he's been like, if he puts it together, like he's gonna pop a top 5 coming up, probably in the swing season.
All right, let's leave him there for a second.
I don't know if this is the week. The Smother Man, definitely.
Yeah, he's got the right side, 2%.
Hey, I will tell you, the Michael Gliglick guy up there, he's not very high in your model. He's up just a little bit, but he is off in the morning, and his ownership didn't come in as chalky as I was thinking he would.
All right, let's keep him in on the first cut. Then
I mean, because that was you saying you liked him, right?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so we'll go give him a little click right here too. Boom. All right, moving on. Who do we got next?
Schnuckley Cup, Smotherman, Hadley, Brandon.
He's
Wu,
in the afternoon.
And Tyler Duncan.
Chesson Hadley's got to go because at this point, when you get below 7,000, I feel like 5% is chalk when almost everybody around him is less than 2%.
Yeah.
Mr. Wu, where are you at? We got to scroll down over here. Dylan Wu is afternoon. No way I'm playing Brandon Wu on the wrong side.
Wait, Dylan Wu or Brandon Wu's afternoon? Oh, Brandon's the afternoon. Okay.
Brandon Wu, 6,900. All right, T-Dunks, he is afternoon. Not doing it. Although, hold on, I just saw somebody. Michael Thompson. We got him clicked. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, he's down here.
All right, where's Lipsky? Lipsky is an afternoon guy. Can't. Oh, here's my boy. You know, Billy got me on this guy. I mean, I looked at the model. I could instantly see, but I'm all in on Vince Whaley, man. I'm going to play way too much of that fucker.
I'm down. So, where's Hodges? What's his tee time? He's got a morning tee time too. My number's like Lee Hodges a little bit. How do you feel about that?
I do like Lee Hodges. I do. I will say this, and for all you watching, we are aware that like we don't need to stack tons of $6,000 guys because we didn't play that many guys up top, so we don't need tons of these guys down here. But like we are interested in them, so we're just kind of just thinning the herd right now. Nasty Nate is in the morning.
Yeah, man. So of this group, I mean, we don't need 5 6,800 golfers.
Yep. So let's see if we can thin the herd a little bit here with where's Dumpy Bow? Dumpy Bow's in the afternoon. He's got to go.
All right. And you
Michael
like
Thompson's in
already.
The morning. Yeah, and he's in the morning. Lashley's in the morning. Yeah.
How do you feel about getting rid of Lashley?
And yeah, I can get rid of Lashley for sure.
That leaves us with 3 to start with. And then we even have 3 61. So we've got Wallace, Taylor, and Lauer.
And of course, well, let's see. Wallace and Taylor are both morning. Where the hell did Lauer go? What is Lauer's sell? Oh, he's 66. Lauer is also morning. Fuck me. It's gonna be hard to get all these guys in 10% of your lineup. So,
well, I'm not. I am honestly not sure I've ever rostered Justin Lauer, so I'm okay to get rid of him.
Get rid of him. Gotta go. Plus, we just don't need guys from down here really. Like these are just punts, unnecessary punts.
Ryder and Malnati.
Sam Ryder. Both morning guys.
Of course they are.
Yeah. I just not married to anybody from here down. I'm literally married to nobody. Like anybody, I would be fine to get rid of all these guys. Plus, I'm just thinking of the roster construction. We just don't need them.
Yeah.
Like
So let's
if
see.
we have four $10,000 guys we were trying to play, it would probably be nice to have all these 6K guys to mix and match with them. But we don't. We're gonna be a lot of our lineups are gonna go, Cantlay and then a 9K and then an 8K and then 3 7K guys. That's gonna be so many lineups that we make.
I'm gonna make this larger real quick so we can see how many golfers we have in our pool.
Where's the
We
number at?
have So it's well, it
So
tells you how
there's
many have been
150.
removed. So it's
So
165
40.
minus
We're at
115.
41 right now. We're at 41. So
Or
we
I'm
need to
saying,
get
yeah,
down at least
156
another.
minus that.
Yeah. So we need to get down another 8 to 11 players.
Okay, let's look at our salary ranges because I feel like we're pretty clumped in certain areas. So I think we're good at the top, like 10 to the high 8 or low 8s here. I think those guys are all fine. The problem that we need to make cuts is right from like 76, I guess, starting at Cam Champ, all the way. Our lowers are just really clumped together.
Yeah, I would say we need to just go back up and scroll to the top again, just so people can see, like, look how much, how few high price guys we're going to play. So one of two things is going to happen. Either all of these high price guys are going to end up in 60% of our lineups, or we're going to have to start cutting some of these guys at the bottom so that then it starts putting more 7K guys in our lineups and not these 6K guys. And then it won't just be stacking the same expensive guys over and over and over and over, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, even right now, it'll be hard to spend our salary.
Yep, it's going to be. And that's with it 9,200 Keegan that we threw in there.
It makes me want to add.
Look,
like
if there's somebody from the
expensive.
wrong wave we're gonna play, if we're gonna play somebody from the wrong wave, I mean, fuck, never mind. I love Davis Riley, but I just can't eat that chalk, so ignore me.
Yeah, up there, I'd be inclined to play Adam Scott if we were going to play someone expensive.
From the bad wave.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Over Mav McNeely? Yeah, I guess he's higher in the projections.
He is. Yeah, I'm surprised at that, honestly.
I am too. I feel like Mav, when I think of Mav, I think of him roasting easy courses, but that's just a narrative I have in my head. I don't even know if that's bared out by the numbers.
So the pre-modified numbers like Mav better than Scott.
Okay. But when you tweaked it, then okay.
So yeah, Rufus likes Mav better than Scott by a decent margin, by 2 points.
Okay. So all right. So what do you want to do? First of all, I feel like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Don't we want to go axe a bunch of those 6K guys to get this player pool a little more reasonable, and then we'll kind of. Couldn't we do an initial build and see what it's spitting us out before we determine if we need to go add a 9,300 Adam Scott or something like that?
Definitely. So let's look here at salary and then start killing some cheapies.
Yeah, we need to go kill at least 8 more guys. And, I already saw, like, you can go down there, Aaron Badley. Like, I don't care what side of the wave he's on. That was just somebody that, soon you'll know. I don't want to play him.
All right, let me see when he goes off, because I could be convinced. He's the wrong side.
I don't know why I have. What about Novak? Are any of these guys or Seifert? Can we go back down to half screen so we can see the waves over here? Boom. Yep. And then let's go see here. Any of these guys? Chase Seifert, Andrew Novak, both on the wrong wave. Get the fuck out of here. Sadoshi Kadaira, wrong wave. Get the fuck out of here.
What about Roger Sloan?
Don't even have. What is Sloan's salary? 63. He is in the morning, and so is Gachowski, and so is Bird.
Okay, Malnati as well.
I would say out of Ryder, Malnati, Bird, Gachowski, and Sloan, I mean, maybe 2 of those 5 we keep. I just don't know if we need all those punts.
Yep.
So
anyone you care a lot about or don't care a lot about?
I would say I would agree that the 2 best plays out of those is probably Malnati and Ryder. But that's, like Gachowski, I'm just telling you, I play that guy so much and he misses so many 5-foot birdies. Like it's disgusting.
Well, that's not what we need here.
Um,
I feel like Bird slays easy courses. Is that me imagining that?
no, that's a thing that I think of too. Jonathan Bird's just a guy I just keep randomly seeing a lot, and that's the only reason that I initially marked him. But he can go. I'm not married to him.
All right.
So then now we're basically down to Ryder, Malnati, Sloan.
So now it's more of this upper 6 to high or low 7 range that we're real bunched up again.
Yeah.
Right here.
Michael Gligic. I mean, if he's going to be 2 or 3 times the ownership of all these guys down here, I have him at 6. Obviously, these are still the rough drafts. I might change it tonight, but I would say, like, why are we playing him when there's all these other guys at discounts around him?
Yeah, that's fair. Just looking real quick at 2 other sites. Has them at 4.5% and 3.5%. So
yeah, which is still higher than, I mean, at this range, it's just people aren't going to be down here spending very much. So even that, I would still rather have Willett at probably 1/2 that ownership, or Shank at probably 1/3 of that ownership.
So the same for Callum Tarrant then?
Oh, I guess, yeah. I feel like, it's always dangerous to play a guy coming off a hot week. You're just paying that ownership premium. Wait, I thought we got rid of Hammer and Hank Lebioda.
Did
I
we?
thought he was on the wrong side, you said.
Okay, let's get
I thought
that.
you said that because I was so disappointed because I wanted to play him. Yeah, Hammer and Hank's on the wrong draw.
We left him in on the first run as possibly someone we'd play from the other side.
Nah, we're not playing him. Fuck that.
All right.
I mean, like, all things being equal, that matters. Let's see. So was Wyndham Clark, Taram, Rogers, all those guys were on the good split, right? It'd be really easy to just find somebody else in the afternoon.
Taryn's getting towards the end of the session, though. He's got a 9 a.m. tee time.
Yeah, and if you didn't notice it, look, the wind is going to pick up looking at about, noon, or actually at 11, so he's probably going to have to play half of his round in that. So, all right, fuck it. Get rid of him.
Ownership premium and end of the round or end of the tee times. I'm okay to lose Taryn.
Yep. So what does that put us at right now? We can't see it till we blow it up. Blow it up real quick.
So that puts us
that has us at 120. All right, so that has us at 31 players right now because 156 minus that. It's weird they don't just tell you how many players you have starred.
I so wish they showed you how many players. So do you want to run an initial build real quick then?
Yeah, let's run it and see if we're liking the numbers it's spitting out, and if not, we might need to go add a Adam Scott or a Mav McNeely or somebody in that 9K range so we can kind of get exposures more at what we want. Okay,
cool. So here's where I can add a little bit of value to the process. So what I do here, because we want to make sure we play everyone at 10%, I go ahead and set everyone's minimum exposure to 10% here. It takes a little while since I'm remoting onto DGen's computer.
Oh, would it be easier if I just go put 10 in all these or what?
Yeah, if you can put 10 in every min exposure, if it doesn't lag on your end. And every time you click the next cell down, it'll keep dropping because I have them sorted lowest or smallest to largest. So you can just keep clicking the next cell down.
So is it working?
Yeah, well, you just gave that dude 0.01%, but I can fix that one.
Okay, so here we go. So I was just trying to go through this quickly. Oh, cut it out, bitch. All right. Oh, I see what it's doing. So I got to.
So if you just keep clicking the second cell each time. I've got it down to like muscle memory at this point.
I hope this is working. And shit's getting scratchy. If this recording sucks, I'm sorry, guys. I'm still a developing YouTuber. Fucking deal with it. And I got my dogs barking, which probably means the ladies' home. Boom. And I still got to start drinking ranch waters before the stream tonight. I got takes tonight, so I got to be fired up.
I need to get. I'm not going to build my fantasy golf world championship seats until I watch it.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy, but I dig it. I dig it.
Well, I've already built
All
one
right.
that I'm sort of married to, but I haven't built the other.
I think I got them all except this last one that won't let me click on it. Nick Hardy
Okay,
is
cool.
the
I
only
can
one
go
that's
through
not
and
at
fix them
10.
up real quick. So for some reason I set Will it at for yesterday. I don't remember why. All right, so that should be everyone now is at 10. So then I guess the other thing we can do real quick if we want is some of our higher owned golfers, like we know Cantlay, we're gonna have to play at least 50%, right?
Uh-oh, now you're cutting out.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now you sound fucking crystal clear.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna have to play Cantlay at roughly 50% or more, right?
Absolutely. You
Okay. And
50%.
Finau, we're probably gonna play
I
it at like approximately
just,
35 or
just let
more
the record
percent.
show, guys. I definitely suggested we play 100% Cantlay. I definitely put that in the ether, and he shot it down.
I said I'm a little too risk averse for all that.
Yes. So
So you can
yeah,
see
I
here, I'm just trying to
minimum.
real quickly for some of the higher owned guys, make sure that we're going to get double here. Just doing it quick and dirty so we can update it as we go.
Having a cold brew.
All right. So then the next thing I do is I go over here and I run a build. And so Saber will give you some choices. Normally, you don't see this. You just see your choices here. You can tell it what type of tournament you're playing. We're obviously playing a GPP. We're playing a 150 max. For those that don't know, I don't know if we mentioned at the beginning of the video, we're going to max the big $20 and the big $5 with 150 in each. And those will be the only lineups we enter in those contests. So field size, field size in those. What is it? It's like 58,000, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's over a
And so then
million.
if you look at manual mode, it shows you what the sliders have done here. And they actually have a pretty cool video you can watch. One thing I do is I tone down the ownership fade on golf because what it'll do is we're actually already doing a pretty good job of playing. Our pool is already pretty low owned. But if you hadn't narrowed your pool, ownership fade just forces some really low owned guys. And I don't necessarily want it to arbitrarily force. So I guess for those of you that use a commercial optimizer, 0-0 is the commercial. This is what every standard optimizer does without any variance built in. So if you want to just use a commercial optimizer, 0-0 would be the settings you would use. So it had recommended 4. I'm going to just change that down to 3, and it recommended 10 sim precision. So what sim precision does is Sabersim has a range of outcomes for every golfer so real quickly, what projections are as a mean projection, but not all means are created equal. So for example, you have a tight end that never gets targeted, but when he does, he catches a 60-yard touchdown. So maybe once every other game, he gets a 60-yard touchdown versus a dude that catches one pass every single game for 6 yards, and that's his ceiling. Those two probably have very similar mean projections, but their ranges of outcomes are wildly different. And so in golf, we have a similar type thing. Like we talked about Siwoo's variance earlier. Siwoo has wildly different range of outcomes than like Kevin Kistner or someone that's like more steady, quote unquote. And so Sabersim has range of outcomes built into their simulation. And so what it does is it takes your projection and applies its range of outcomes and then runs a simulation. So if you use 10 sim precision, it's going to run a single simulation. All of your lineups will be built on a single sim, which really dilutes the value of the numbers you put into Saber. Because the range of outcomes, obviously, if it's choosing one, it can choose anywhere on the spectrum. And if you think about, whatever, if it typically a standard distribution, like a bell curve, you can end up with a tail distribution in that one sim. So I tend to, because I like my numbers and I've spent a fair amount of time like making my numbers, and I think Rufus makes the best numbers in the business to begin with. I tone down the sim precision because I want it to take the average of. I usually use either 6 or 3 sims, and so here just for we'll do 9 the first time and see how it runs. So what that means is every lineup that it's generating, it's running 3 simulations and taking the average of those 3, which obviously as you get more simulations, you get closer to your projected number. All right, that was a lot. I'm going to tell it to build a total pool size of 1,500 lineups for our 300. Our minimum salary. I know you feel pretty strongly about spending your whole salary. I don't feel quite as
No.
strong as you do. I
How
like to
much?
set this at
Obviously,
49.3.
yeah. I would have said 49.5. So it's not like that's crazy.
All right, cool. Number of uniques here. This is the number of different golfers we want to appear in a lineup. I'm good with leaving it at one. What that means is we could have a lineup with five the same and just a 1v1 versus each other. You good with
Yeah,
one?
which for all of you that don't know, that's called a one-off, right? Where like you keep five of the same guys in your lineup and you just switch one of them off to another guy that's the same or similar salary. And I love doing that. When I do showdown, a lot of times if I love five guys, I'll put them in. If I have 7,200 left, I'll just go put every single 7,200, 7,100, $7,000 golfer in that last spot and literally enter that lineup 20 times.
Nice. Okay, cool. So you're good with one unique. And then maximum exposure. Is there any reason we should limit this on the front end, or should we just wait and limit it on the back end?
No, I'm praying that we get 100% can't lay.
All right, let's do it. And right now we've written no rules. So I always run my first build. And if there's anything I need to group out, that's usually what I use the rules for. So meaning if it's giving me lineups that are too chalky, which I think we've done a really good job of killing the chalk on the front end when we're building our pool. But had we included too much chalk, I sometimes will look at my lineups on review and decide I need to make groups to group out chalk together. Or either if I'm not getting enough of the low owned guys that I like for whatever reason, I'll write a rule to force in, either one or two low owned guys. Or if the way it's building for me is forcing in like too many 6K guys, and I really don't want a lineup or I don't want too many lineups that are whatever, two 6K guys and a low 7K or whatever it is, I'll write rules to group those kind of things out once I review. So that's why I think reviewing your lineups is like hugely important once you generate a lineup. A lineup optimizer is a great tool, but you can lose money really fast if you just let the lineup generator shoot out lineups, upload to DK, and go about your day.
Yeah, so like if you are gonna be starting your lineups this week, like let's just say you like Young and Homa. First of all, you're a chalk donkey, but let's say you do like them and that's who you want to have build. You're gonna find those guys like that. You're gonna get like they're gonna spit out so common in there, especially if that's the first two, that like you got to make sure to like manage those exposures and you don't just have every lineup with those two. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but like I was trying to tag on to what you were just saying, but now I feel like I have went in a different direction.
Oh, good. So this time while it's building lineups is usually when I take the opportunity to lift weights.
How long does it usually take? That wasn't so bad. That was like what, 90 seconds?
Yeah, once you start writing more rules, it does take quite a bit longer. Sometimes it'll take 5 or 6 minutes and, get a couple of little sets in. All right, so
what are those
we
red
did end up
boxes?
with
I don't like red
83%
boxes.
can't lay.
Let's go.
67% phenol.
Don't love it.
Which I may want to limit that much phenol. We don't need that much leverage on phenol, I don't think.
I feel like 50% should be his like ceiling.
All right, so here's a fun thing you can do in Saber. I'd actually be down to limit it to like 45, basically get triple the field. But okay, let's do it for 50 now and see how it looks. So in Saber, what you can do is we can just limit it here to 50. So it's already built us 1,500 lineups, and it's choosing based on the Saber metrics. It's choosing the best 300 lineups. Oh, it went backwards. Hang on. They have a new feature now where if it cannot meet your exposures, because in our set we built, when we limit phenol to 50%, it doesn't have enough lineups that it wants to give us. So hang on, it'll take it a second to go back here. Oh. It's angry at us for some reason. All right, hang on. Let me try to go out and go back into Saber here. All right. So when it asked me to send projections, what it did was send my 50% cap for phenol right back out to the front screen. So if we were to rerun, any future our builds would cap phenol at 50%. But I'm going to try to go back to our build so we can at least get a little more information from what our first build showed before we start making new.
Did you change how you're sitting? Because like the scratchiness is back.
Oh, I did not, but let me see if I can move my mic and see if that is that any better? Any better?
Oh wait, then you cut out. Say it again. There, you're back.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, it sounds lovely.
All right, cool. Okay, so on our next run, we'll have 50% fee now. In this run, Cam Davis will definitely go up in our next run since he's the next priced golfer. When we rerun with only 50% fee now, I'm guessing Cam Davis will pick up that slack. Let's see, Siwoo at 24%, Denny at 22%. So hopefully it'll give us a little more Denny as well. So all when it's red here, that means what's that?
Is there ever a time it spits out the results and it doesn't meet your minimum requirements? Like say you
had Denny, so that's what all these red mean. Any of the ones in red, it means it hasn't met what we asked it to do. And it did originally until I tried to adjust Finau down, and then it got angry. So we'll need to do another run here in a minute. I was just trying to see if there was anyone else we needed to adjust before we made another run. And like these guys will have to come up. But we have exactly 30 golfers that came out. And so looking at the lineups here, like we have some pretty nicely leveraged lineups here. Like we start with this one fairly chalky with Cantlay and Finau, but then we don't play another golfer above 10%. We've got a 7%, 1%, 3%, 2%. Like that's a gorgeous lineup. Same here. So it's the favorite lineups, which obviously makes a ton of sense given how highly projected I have Finau and Cantlay, are going to be Finau-Cantlay combos with 3 7K roughly golfers.
Right. Which actually is a build I like this week because I really like the 7Ks a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so let's go back here and let's rerun another set now that we've capped Finau at 50%. So this is where we need something to talk about because you just end up with dead air going back and forth.
Shit, it's all I do. I mean, basically, it's my new career is just to fucking talk. Let's see. What Fantasy Golf World Championships. So why don't you give us a little bit of what's going on there? Like last week was a 50-50, right? There was 300 of you had to get down to the top 50. But this week there's 150 of you and you're trying to get down to the live 40 that actually get to go to the live final. So like, why don't you maybe enlighten us a little bit about how you're changing your strategy this week from what you did last week to what you're doing this week, with it being more of like a GPP fill this week versus a cash game from last week?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going for it this week. I got 2 of my 4 through. And last week being a cash game was something I'm not accustomed to. So I had to adjust my strategy. I ate more chalk than I normally do and didn't go for as much upside. But this week is going to be the opposite. It's going to be playing GPP lineups and aiming to get one of those 2 seats to the final. So I've got one lineup here I'm looking at that's pretty aggressive, playing Cantlay and then all 10K or less, or I'm sorry, 10% or less golfers. I haven't built a Cantlay Finau, and I'm debating after running these, making my second lineup a Cantlay Finau build. So we'll have to see.
If you were being, yeah, I guess, worried. Yeah. I would say I would hate that if this were the 50-50 week, just because I think Finau, there is like, you know, like, is he there emotionally, mentally? Is he getting exhausted or anything? But on a GPP type week where you've got to finish basically in the top 25 percentile this week to advance, I think it's a calculated risk.
I think he was going to come in very low owned, more so in that contest than like the big field lottos that we're going to play.
Right.
I think people will be scared if there's a decent amount of the field that only has one bullet, and if I have one bullet, am I really going to want to spend it on Finau? I know I wouldn't want to with one bullet.
Right. That's I talked about that in the rough draft ownership video earlier. All right, here we go. So now we are
coming up with some guys
again.
And I think because we don't have another 10K golfer, it still wants to give us 65% fee now, even though we told it we don't want 65% fee now.
So basically, even when you give it hard rules, like don't go over 50, sometimes it says, fuck you rules.
Well, in our pool, you can see our pool, it's built 47%. So we can manually adjust this, and we'd have to go through and kill some Finau lineups. But because of how high I have him projected, the other thing we can do, and this is one of the things I want to talk about, is you can just go in here and just manually adjust his projection. So once I manually adjust his projection, let's see. Oh, shoot. I hate when it does that. There is a bug in Saber, and when you adjust a projection sometime on this screen, it changes everyone's projection. So I have to go into this build and send back the projections that we had. It's a very frustrating feature, or not,
because you got to remember, because what we're doing here is not a lineup generator. It's more of like an optimizer, right? And those are like kind of two separate things, because the optimizer is using more of like the projections to make good lineup.
Oh, you just cut out, I think.
Oh, did you not hear me?
No, yeah, you cut out for the last half of that.
Yeah, so I said like there's a difference between a lineup generator and an optimizer, right? This is an optimizer where they're using projections to make their lineups, whereas a lineup generator is more just like it takes the pool of players that you told it and it just arbitrarily fills the spots.
Yeah, exactly. This is and Saber is even more powerful than the commercially available optimizers that are out there right now. Saber is very powerful. Oh, it did it again. Why does it want to do that? So anytime I want to adjust my Finau projection, it changes everyone's projection, which is obviously
do you think this is because you uploaded your own numbers into it as opposed to just using theirs?
Or wait, yeah, probably. Yeah. Which is going to be really frustrating because it's going to want to keep giving us, like it's doing here, giving us whatever 60% Finau.
All right, so we're at 52 minutes right now, John Galt, and I told you you got to know your audience, and we got to keep this under an hour. So here would be my question: like we can do a lot of this off camera and getting all this tweaked. Is there anything else that like we need to show them about like messing around with this to get their exposure balanced or anything before like we go finish this off air?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a good start, and I'm always down to answer questions. The one thing I think that I spend a little more time doing, and I will definitely will do it off air, and I can make a separate video if anyone really cares, is reviewing these lineups. I do go through every one of my lineups before I enter them. I don't like just firing off lineups. And even if it's something cursory, like I'm looking here, and I'm looking quickly at projected ownership down here, which is a sum ownership, which if you watched my other video, which I understand
why does it have Cantlay at 40%?
Because it reverted to my old numbers. We have to upload our numbers back. This is what Saber has them projected at.
And so when you're going through and hand looking or eyeballing every one of the lineups that it created, what specifically are you looking for other than just total ownership? And when you are looking for total ownership, first of all, what number are you looking for? Trying to keep it under 75?
Well, so the actual number, I start manually reviewing any lineup that has it maybe over 80, and I'm okay leaving some of those lineups in. The lineup that I probably wouldn't want that would sum to 80 would be something that played like all teens ownership golfers, and it would still sum in the 80s, or like teens and high teens or whatever. It would still sum in the 80s, but I wouldn't necessarily want to play that lineup because I wouldn't have any low owned guys. So I'd want to make sure if I am playing a lineup that's in like the 80+%, it's okay that I'm eating a couple chalkier golfers, but then I need to have probably two guys 5% or less would be something I'd be aiming for. So I'm looking at those lineups just to make sure they aren't just eating chalk unnecessarily, even though we've already done a good job of limiting our pool. And then I'm looking for just a general trend of like, am I getting a lot of double 6Ks or double scrubs that I don't necessarily want? And then I would be grouping out some of those scrub builds.
Okay. And then the last question, why do you build 1,500 lineups as opposed to just 300, just so you can sub some out?
Exactly. Yeah. So that when I manipulate what I want for my exposures, like if I decide right now I want more Roger Sloan for whatever reason, I bump him to 20%. it'll now give me more. It'll pull in more Roger Sloan lineups from my pool so that he gets his ownership up. Let's see. Well, it's telling me it can't meet my exposures, but let's see what it put Roger Sloan. It bumped him, well, a whole 0.7. So it added like one more Roger Sloan lineup. But in theory, I think that's given how tight we are at the top
All
of
right.
our pool.
Yeah, hey,
have a lot of choices. What's that?
You cut out there for a minute. When you were talking about Roger Sloan, you cut out. I know.
I said I tried to give
this is
we got more Roger Sloan.
Yep.
And it ended up giving us just one more lineup. But if we go up to maybe 25%, let's see if it'll. Now it's given us 21% Roger Sloan. So it's pulled in a couple more Roger Sloan lineups from our pool.
Okay, I see. But we do not want 25% Roger Sloan.
No, we do not.
10% is our cutoff, and Roger Sloan is a perfect example of a guy that will be in 10% of our lineups and no more.
Yep, and I think that's something we're going to have to go through, and we're going to have to, when we do another run, we're going to have to limit, because you can see like Sam Ryder, it wants to put in, it wants to put Sam Ryder in 18%. So I would want to cap Sam at 10. Same with Roger Sloan,
Amen.
Cap him at 10. So then I would be going through and doing that on guys that I don't need and or want that much leverage on those guys. Like Pat Kazire,
even at 10%, even at 10% on some of these guys, we're going to literally have 20 or 30 times leverage because they're going to be less than 1% owned. So if we're playing in 10% of our lineups and they're 0.5% owned, that's 20 times leverage. That's insane.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't need. Yeah. All right. We're going to cut off the recording there. Me and him, we got a lot of work to do. I still got the fucking stream coming up in a little bit that I got to prep for, finalize the ownership videos, put out the chalk report, put out the pivots and the sleepers. So much to come tonight. I guess you're watching this in the future, so you don't really give a shit about what I got to do tonight. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned a little bit from it. I will talk to you tonight. Hey, stop clicking.